This is Shelby,
And this is Jess.
and welcome back to the League of Extraordinary Readers.
Hi, friends.
I didn't show you. I got a new wallpaper on my phone.
Well, that's
This
cute.
girl has been posting her art, and I've just been saving them.
Is that?
I meant to send it to you.
Is that? It looks like somebody familiar that I follow.
You probably do
Maybe
follow them because I found her on
Maybe.
Threads.
Okay. Yeah.
But
They
hi guys.
good artists.
That's how I've been finding new wallpapers. I've just been following artists and making sure it's black art. But I figured we just get right into it today because one, I'm tired, just tired. Did you see they turned off the CERN machine?
The what?
The CERN, what does CERN stand for? It's that neuron thing. CERN
I did not.
machine. Turned off. Yeah, it's gonna be turned off until 2030.
Why?
For maintenance.
The
The Large Hadron Colander at CERN, Hadron, whatever, was turned off on June 29th to undergo a major 4-year transformation.
Okay, sir. Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, does that how does that affect us? Particle
People are saying like time feels different now, that we're gonna be like on the correct timeline, like all kind of woo-woo stuff.
Okay. Interesting. Very,
like basically
very
that
interesting.
time for the first time in a long time feels normal.
Mm-hmm.
That like for the last few years it's felt sped up and fast and like weird.
Yeah, because we're almost at the end of the year and we were talking about the beginning of the year. So
Yeah.
But I think that's inevitable with just life. I don't know.
I don't know. Because on one end of it, I feel like it might be a perception thing. Like, I feel like as we get older, we perceive time differently versus when we were kids, where we don't really have a concept of it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I also think the difference between a neurodivergent person and a neurotypical person, that plays a part in how time is perceived, because I know as a neurodivergent person, my perception of time is shit. Like, I could tell you like, oh, it takes me 5 minutes to do something and it actually takes me 30 minutes because I don't know what time feels like. Like I don't. And no matter what I try to do to give myself some type of
like a map or a layout or some. Yeah.
Like, I'm like a little kid and I actually need one of those things. You know how when you're teaching children time and they have those little clocks that you twist and it has like the color, like this is 15 minutes. Like, I need one of those, but just for the rest of my life.
No, I feel that. I feel that. That's a word though. That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, so I think depending on how your brain works, because there are some days that do feel longer to me and there are others that don't feel as long. So but I don't know the why, or like I can't give a definitive answer to that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense.
So, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, but people were just like, because I teeter the line between the woo woo and the normal, and the woo woo bitches was like, CERN turned off that machine, speak it into existence now. And I was like, y'all might be on to something.
Interesting.
Y'all might be on to something. The prayers might not just be hitting the ceiling now, y'all. They might be going to the main line might be clear. Okay? So
I like that.
So how was your week?
It was pretty. What did I do this week? Oh, I had brunch. It feels like,
how was that?
How we were talking about time, nothing feels normal for real. Everything's just being sped up. But the brunch was cool. It was fun. I this might be my last time working at a restaurant for a minute. Um, just because sometimes working it's nice, but it's also like, oh, you guys are all over the place. Got
Yeah.
it. So, I mean, I have the other ones coming up, which are in different locations. So I'm going to see how that goes. I'm just testing out stuff just to see what sticks and curate it a little bit more. Not to like be people as test dummies, but just to see what is the not easier because none of this is easy, but what is the most beneficial route overall for everybody to get the full experience is what I'm talking about. Because you could be in a restaurant, and some restaurants that music be loud, especially them black restaurants.
Yeah, so just trying to like figure out what's the best space to kind of like have the vibe that you want
Mm-hmm.
that'll be beneficial to like the customer, the vibe that you're trying to give, be able to feed people
Mm-hmm.
and okay,
All the
I hear
things,
you.
yeah. Yeah, so those are the things that I'm like working out the kinks, and then other than that, pretty chill. I mean, oh, it's not chill. My blood pressure was up because of Love Island show. Oh my gosh. Like
Oh, brother.
literally tweaking all week. People know, but they gave us movie night yesterday. Okay, so movie night is real quick. I'm not gonna get too deep into it because I'll save that
Hmm.
for a YouTube video. But basically, is we're at the part of the season where people's lives are catching up to them. So what the producers do is they collect all the stuff that people have been saying, like a lot of main culprits, just collecting their stuff to reveal the truth. And so a lot of
Okay.
them came back from that huge, they went to Casa Amor, which is like the ultimate test of connection. They came back, they've made truth. Some of the boys not telling the full truth. Some of the girls not telling the full truth. And then movie night exposes all of that because they show like the clips that were the context as to what was happening in Casa Amor or in the actual villa. So like people are like being aired out. So there's this one couple, actually there's two couples that have a lot of controversy around them. One being the boy he's a pathological liar, and he knows it, but he doesn't know how to combat it. It's just he needs to go to
Okay.
therapy. That
Okay.
baby needs to go to therapy. It's bad. It's like it's not funny. Like at first it was funny, like hee ha ha, you just be lying, you just be like, no, that man is lying. And when they showed the full clip, that poor baby, the girl, like I used to be like, Melanie, she needs to leave, she's stupid, she's this, that. You know, like when you're just talking about these characters are just like, they're not doing the right thing, they should leave this man, leave this man. That baby had a couple tears falling down her cheek, and she literally, like people were saying she regressed. She literally her voice got real small, and she was shaking, and I felt so bad for her. Like I cried. I felt so bad for her because she even, like, you could tell she did not like none of these lie, and everybody was quiet because he was lying to everybody too. Because everybody was like, oh, giving him advice, and people were hyping her up like, you guys are the best couple, da da da. And when they saw what he was doing, everybody was like, this is nuts. So yeah, my blood pressure's been up all week. And then they had the nerve to cut it off because there's movie night part 2 on Thursday. So there's that. But other than that, I can't wait to talk about this book by Jesmyn. Um, yeah.
Saying it correctly,
You
amen.
see me, guys? I got
I'm proud of
it right.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of derailed me from all the other stuff I was reading, so I have to
What
play
else?
catch up as well.
What else are you reading?
Well, Leave Your Mess at Home fell to the wayside because I started
Okay.
this. Not in a bad way. I was eating up Leave Your Mess at Home, but then I was like, "Ooh, this is good too." But I had to focus because we had to talk about this. Um, and then my Love Island Beyond, so that takes up all the time. So yeah, and then I was listening to Moonrise over Jessup still. it's kind of
I thought you
falling flat.
finished that.
They took it away from me in the middle of it. I was at 50%, man. They always take it to books.
Is it New Jessup, Jessup or IP?
UP. Let me make sure. New Jessup. Yeah, UP.
UP. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was trying to see if that could fit for something for Herkit.
I feel like it could because you
Yeah, I think
DNF'd it, so it'll be that
Yeah.
category. I also did work on
Either
Hursted
that
as well.
or character to author. I was thinking.
Oh yeah. That could. Yeah. What else? Yeah, that's it. I've just been focused on that book, and then I have to read Theft. That's our book club pick.
When is the book club discussion for it?
Tomorrow.
Shit. Girl.
I'm gonna get it together. I'll figure it out. It's only like 6 hours technically listening.
Right. True.
So if I do 3 hours today, 3 hours tomorrow. Yeah.
Before I talk about my week, let's just do quick church announcements and talk about what we will be reading for Q3. So for the month of July, we are going to read The Summer Girlfriend by Christina Frost. Forrest. Her name is not Frost. It's Forrest. We are going to throw a romance in the mix. We haven't read a romance in a while. We've been reading things that are a little bit more dense, which is normal for Jess and I. That's just the flow of our reading normally. So I don't think either one of us noticed. But I have been seeing this book floating around, so I thought it was going to be good. So we'll see. August, we're going to read The Book of Chuck by Latoya Watkins, which we are super, super excited about. Anticipated read. I did request the arc and nothing. So, whatever. And then for September, we do have a special guest for September, but we'll talk about 2 different books in September, but we will read The Fantasies of Future Things by Doug Jones, and then the other one we're not going to tell y'all until we get closer, but y'all are going to be super excited. So
actually we have, I will say 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I'm just waiting for her to just send the calendar or whatever she got to do, but I would say 2. Y'all gonna like it. You're gonna like it. Yeah, it's gonna be a good month.
It's gonna be lit.
Yeah,
it's gonna be lit in September. So those are church announcements. For my week, I feel like it's been a blur. Reading wise, I'm still reading Fairfield County, which I'm enjoying. All of the horse terminology, no idea what's going on.
I put it down as my animal for Hursted.
Oh yeah, because there is a horse on the front, ain't it? There is. I couldn't do that because I used it for biomes, farmland.
Well, that's smart. What? I didn't think about that.
Farmland.
No, I think I have another farmland because I have this western on my shelf and it looks like there's farmland on it.
Yeah, I use that as one of my biomes. I'm listening to Daggermouth, which I'm actually enjoying. But you know how I feel about when they use the C word for the male appendage, and
yeah,
it's making me uncomfortable. But like, I'm in the mood to read, but everything that I want to read, I kind of need to wait because I need to like finish stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the first of the month. Did you get anything good from Libro, from the ALC?
Yeah. Hold on. Is it good? It seems interesting. I said I was gonna go back and peruse again just to make sure I got everything. I got Animal. I don't know if it has so many accent marks and stuff, but this one.
Yes, they sent me. I didn't get that through Libro, but I did get an email with that.
Okay. Yeah, I got that. And then I got Falcon, the football player by B Love. And
Uh,
then The Chinese Lady by Bo Wang.
okay.
I didn't see anything else that was like jumping. Oh, there's Daggermouth. Oh yeah. I'll get that since you're listening to it. If you like it, let me know.
Yeah, it's holding my
Um,
attention.
okay.
I did get Falcon the football. Okay, so you're gonna be very jealous.
What did you get?
I'm just gonna start naming titles, and I'm just gonna let you figure out what they are. Okay.
Jesus. Okay.
Dawn, Mind of My Mind, Imajo, Adulthood Rights,
You got
Clay's
all.
Pattern Master, Bloodchild, and Other Stories.
So how did Libro think that the general public wouldn't want those ones? Like, how
So
do they?
let me tell you. So I woke up. I also got the Great Wherever, which I'm excited about because I want to immersive read that. So I'm excited
I even got
that I
that.
got that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I woke up the first time this morning to check and I saw Dawn, I said, "Oh, an Octavia Butler book. Cool."
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw Mind of My Mind and I said, "Is this a fluke?" And then I kept scrolling and there were more and I said, "Am I dreaming? What is this?" So yeah. And when you didn't text me to say like, "Look at your Libro," I was like, "She don't have it."
No, I barely got anything good. I mean, these
I'm
are
sorry, friend.
alright. They not.
There wasn't really anything else. But yeah,
I just be trying
those.
stuff out, but yeah, no, nothing crazy. Dang, you got lucky.
Yeah, I got real lucky.
Well, I need to
There was
get the new
also
versions of those books too.
yeah, we're reading Wild Seed for September
Mm-hmm.
for our book club, so I was gonna get all of the new copies. Anyway,
Yeah, I I was doing Octavia. I'm gonna do Octavia in October because I requested that last year, so I might do Fledgling actually
okay.
for the vampire-esque vibe.
Um, I also downloaded a book called Searching for Jane Crow: Black Women and Mass Incarceration in America from Auction Block to the Cell Block by Talithia L. LeFloria.
I have
Sounded
not seen this
interesting.
one floating around at all.
Sounded really interesting. But yeah, I said all that Octavia Butler, Somebody Loves Me. But my week, it's been busy.
Yeah, you've
Had
been
a bunch
out.
of family stuff, which was funny. I know I told you, but so we had graduation party for my little cousin and his friends. There's a group of them that have been friends since they were in kindergarten all the way up through 8th grade. And they've been like in the same school and class together.
Mm.
And my uncle had got a bounce house for the littles and they just wasn't playing right. Baby comes to get my attention. I'm over there telling the older kids, I'm like, listen, y'all have to be patient with them. They're smaller than you. They may not always listen, but as their elders, you guys have to be more patient with them. So you may have to repeat yourself and remind them to be nice, to listen, so on and so forth. And they were trying to give me back talk, and I was like, I'll pop this blowhouse. And they looked at me, and I looked at them, and they was like, we'll be more patient. Oh, okay. You got to meet the children where they are. You have to speak their
You
language. I
do.
didn't have to raise
You
my
gotta
voice or
speak.
anything. I'll pop it. So, got the babies together. That was a good time. I really have to be a little bit more cognizant of like planning a bunch of stuff back to back to back to back because by Sunday I was wore out. We did get to see Alex L this weekend. It was good seeing her. There's a black owned Pilates studio called IslandHouse that her event was at. Beautiful place. Like it was so beautiful in there. It was a journaling thing. We talked about the company we keep.
Mm-hmm.
Super great. Monday we saw Clarence A. Haynes.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about the broken hearts
Something
agency.
society agency. Yeah.
Yeah, broken hearts
Yeah. I
agency.
thought it was a
I mean, it was
society. Yeah.
so good to see him. And I
Mm-hmm.
finally got to meet Krishan, his editor, who he talks about all the time. He loves her, and she's so cute. She's so nice and like bubbly. She has all this personality. I can see why he raves about her the way that he does. Um, and then last night we got to see Mara Brock Akil, excuse me. My mom, although a fan of Girlfriends, didn't know who she was and was like left there like moved by everything that Mara had to say. She said some like really moving stuff, but I also, like I was telling you earlier, like there's something about that, like Black women of that age range, like, and how they talk about women that are younger than them, that always makes me like uncomfortable. Not necessarily offended, but like
Mm-hmm.
weird. Because I feel like
Yeah.
they discredit us so much, but it's also because they don't get to know us. And I think they
Mm-hmm.
treat us a certain way because they now have the ability to bully us in the way that they were bullied by the women that were older than them.
It's like a rite of passage in their mind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because like she made this comment about like newspapers, and she was like, because there were these things that were printed out every day on paper. And I was just like, duh, girl, it's actually a newspaper sitting outside my house right now that we walk over every day because
Yeah, it's just there.
there's
Interesting.
still a paper boy.
Mm-hmm. Which is like when you start talking to them, it's like, oh yeah, you were born in the 90s. Yeah, we were. We're not that far from, I
Right.
think we were just right there in the middle of like being, still having a childhood without technology,
Right.
within the brink
Right.
of technology. And
Right.
it's like, I saw somebody say, kids born in 1993 to 1996 should have been Gen Z. And I'm like, no. I mean, we have the knowledge, like we're hip to certain things, we catch on to certain things, but we're not them. Sorry, Gen
I
Z.
just I
But
just
like we're not.
I'm like, it's just, I feel like it's a lack of communication, and it's not this flex that they think it is.
Yeah. But
Like
I
it's
find
weird.
that interesting. You know, I am still excited to read the book after you told me what it was actually about.
Mm-hmm.
Um so I'm curious to
Yeah.
see how they go about it. So yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's the part that she read. I'm very, very curious. Um,
Mhm.
but it also made me, listening to her speak. I was telling my mom that we actually pitched to try to get her to come on the pod, and I said, listening to her speak, I can understand why
Why?
maybe
Yeah.
she didn't, because she looked at us and said that, oh, they're too young. I said, but I guarantee you that if either I make a post about it and she sees it, or you make a post about it and she sees it, she's gonna be like, no, they're so smart and educated and so dope, and I want to be like, I want to talk, like, you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Excuse me. Which is why in turn I don't like comments like that. You know, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's interesting. And who was it we were talking to that said sometimes when you start to see like, it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a fully a bad thing. It just comes off very condescending without them
yeah,
noticing. And
yeah,
it's just critique in that sense of like, maybe you should
right,
just speak to the masses, because I guarantee, like you said, we are your target market, because me and Shelby were excited for this. We still are. It's not to say we aren't, but it's like we
right.
are the
Like
ones that push the
the
needle. Yeah.
people, right? Like the people that you think, not even that she thinks, the people that she wants to reach are actually following us, are
Yeah.
actually taking book advice from us. But she thinks that we don't know what newspapers are. So
Listen, I just, you just.
She thinks we don't know what newspapers are. So it's like, what do we do with that, right? Like, how do we truly look up to the Black women that are great, that are doing really good things and are paving the way for us, that are constantly telling us that we are not enough or are constantly condescending towards us,
Mm-hmm.
when all we want from them is love,
Yeah,
and guidance, and
yeah.
affirmation, when what they give us are backhanded compliments or all these jokes that we're supposed to just take on the chin. Like, where does that?
And that's not. I know we're getting away from the full what we need to get into, but
Right.
I guess my last thing
Sorry,
is
y'all.
like, no, yeah, you guys will probably enjoy this conversation, but we're trying to be conscious of time. But I
Mm-hmm.
think the thing that I'm thinking is like, it's not triggering, but it just brings me back to a certain part of like childhood, and as well as like being in certain spaces, especially creatively, where someone like that I have encountered and they don't want to give you not a handout, which I feel like this goes into what Jesmyn has said in her book as well, which we can caveat to that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like white people can get a handout, you know? Like white people can get these resources easily. White people can tell the stories and then be multiple stories. Actually, Ta-Nehisi, he said it in that interview. But like white people can
Yeah.
tell these stories, white people can do, but we have to do it the hard way. And it kind of like
Yeah.
makes me think of
And
those
we
women
have to
I've
do it.
encountered. Yeah. It's
We
like,
have to do it the hard way to like prove our worth, right? Like, we
yeah.
have to do it the hard way to prove that we are, that we can endure, that we are tough enough, that we are mature enough, that we are and are and are and are. But nobody else is doing that.
No, I like when people ask me questions about any of the areas that I work in, I try to be as open and not condescending about what I do, because it shouldn't be this hard for us. We're gatekeeping and trying to keep us away, but want us to grow. Like, yeah. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, it was interesting. And like you said, it's not triggering, like I wasn't offended. I just think it's interesting
Mm-hmm.
because, or even like when I was at my uncle's house, right? One of my uncle's best friends, um my uncle, because as much as my uncle teases me, he loves to tell people like, "Oh, my niece reads all the time. She got a book club and podcasts and books, this blah blah."
Mm-hmm.
Like he puff his chest up at that. Um and I was reading. I had my Kobo with me. I was reading. And his friend was like, "Oh, well, all the book stuff is online now." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Ain't no more bookstores." And I was like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" And I was like, "I just was in one. I'm going to two more next week. Like, it's one in Montclair that I go to at least once a week. Like, it's one in like what? Like, it's a black owned one in Newark. Like, what are we talking about? It's 4 or 5 black owned ones in Brooklyn. Like, tangible, we could touch them. Like, what are you talking about?" Barnes and Nobles is still very much alive and well. Like, everything is not online
Very,
anymore.
very
So
alive.
it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, we know that if it's not something that you're immediately involved in, you just won't know certain information. So why are we not applying that to people too?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Like,
Hmm.
because again, it wasn't offensive. It just is like, what do you get from that?
Yeah.
Even when I hear people talk about the kids and saying like, "Oh, well, the babies can't read," like, to me, that
That's more of a reflection
makes
on
me
us
feel
than
like
them.
we as adults are doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are busy judging the children. We're the issue.
Mm-hmm.
How did we make it this far and the children can't read? What does that mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
Right? So it's like, I don't know. It's just, I think it says something.
Yeah.
It says something
It really does.
about the, and in the same breath, she was talking about the importance of friendship and the importance of sisterhood, right? And especially with the subject matter of this book and what the female main character is going through. So it just was,
it was puzzling. Yeah.
words mean things, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about the book. It'll be read.
Yeah. I go next week. I forgot what day. Hold on.
I'll probably read it next week. Because I don't want to take, the only thing I'm probably gonna take with me is Brother Epistles.
Yeah.
Because
that's next. What's the 9th? Thursday? Yeah.
that
Yeah, it
is
is.
Thursday. Then maybe I don't have to take that with me. Oh, don't have to take it with me.
Yeah. Next Thursday is the event for me. I'm on hold.
Oh no, I thought you were saying Thursday was when the interview was. The interview is Wednesday. Oh no, so then I do have to take it with me. Okay.
Oh no. The interview's on Wednesday. Next Thursday for me. We'll see if I go. I'm waiting to hear back about a gig for FIFA.
Okay.
So there's that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll see. They've been, you know how these production companies work. They come out of nowhere like 2 days before, like, hey, can you work for us? Mind you, you told me 2 months ago, and then just went dark, but whatever.
Y'all, her Justin Sarah was in the group chat talking about something. It was a shootout at the soccer game, and I was in there like, guns? They got guns at the
FIFA? She really was like shocked. No. Oh, you should have heard.
Who is they shooting?
You should have heard. Mexican, the Mexico team won. I think they advanced to the next round, and you should have heard them. The whole street was lit. It was like, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, and then there were, fireworks. I mean, it is that time of year, but the fireworks was going off.
Well, baby, it's about to be fireworks till Thanksgiving.
No, literally. So, I'm excited if I do get to go, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I know it's an event. It's the same company I work with for NAACP, so they circled back. So I don't know. Cool. I don't know what I'm doing. So we'll find out probably 2 days before. I'm proud of you
either way. Yeah, I'm proud of you either way. Yeah. So On Witness and Respair, how did you feel about it?
She's, like I said, she's an Elena of her own, bro.
She really is. You and them squiggly lines.
She was judging me because I showed her one of my annotations, and I didn't feel like lining it up with my annotation thing. But I have better ones. I won't show you all of them because I did get lazy. But I will. Okay, so seriously, I think she makes me want to be a better reader. Like, she makes me, like, I've always thought, like, I always want to be a better reader, but the way she talks about writing and how she talks about literature and how it moves within, and how I feel like it's a repetition of some of the things that we've already talked about, right? In some fashion, but I think these were very personal essays that allow people to understand where she is, where she's always been. Because we got a mix of everything.
A lot of these I've read before because they are essays and things that have been in magazines and articles and on websites and stuff like that. So I was anticipating more newness. So I wasn't I don't want to say as moved. Like, I always love reading her stuff, but I was expecting more newness than what I actually got. So it just felt like a return, to
where it was, yeah,
like things that I had read before.
Because I would say the Regina King one, the Ava DuVernay one, the Toni Morrison one. There's one more. I feel like the Ta-Nehisi one. I feel like I read
Yeah.
that in some sort of way, but it's on paper. Well, it's always been on paper, but you know what I mean. Um, those
The only ones that I hadn't were like whichever ones were dated for like 2025 were the
mm-hmm,
ones that I had never heard before or that
mm,
I'd never read before.
mm-hmm,
Everything else was familiar.
yeah, yeah,
Stuff that I knew.
yeah.
Um
I think that would be my critique, though, is there were parts towards the end, there was a lot of repetition that,
so I think that's intentional. I think when you
yes.
think about her
Mm-hmm,
work, when you think about I mean, I think she kind of explains that within like that first essay when she talks about her grandmother telling her to tell it straight, right? And the reason that she talks so much about the things that she talks about and the importance of witnessing, right? Like I think it's such a big part of her life.
mm-hmm,
But in each instant that she talks about it, it's different,
mm-hmm,
right? Like it comes up a little differently, it's impacting her a little differently, it's at a bit of a different part of her life, she's talking about it differently, she's feeling it a bit differently, right? Because I think the part that she's trying to make clear is that how uh cyclical life is,
mm-hmm,
that all of these things are just continuing to repeat itself
yeah,
no matter
yeah,
where or what or who or why. Like there's just this circle that we're going in, like this continuous cycle. um so I could see that. That was something that I thought about too. Like it didn't necessarily bother me,
mm-hmm,
but I think that's intentional on her part, especially after talking to her editor. I think that's very intentional because I
yeah,
think that's how it feels in her head. I think that's how it feels for her living it, right? Like I
mm-hmm.
think I think for her her grief is repetitive. And I
Yes,
think for
no,
her it's a
I
bit
agree.
annoying. I think for
No,
her it's a
yeah,
bit aggravating,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So I think
yeah.
I
No,
think that's
I came to that conclusion as well. In the end, I was like, well, this is probably intentional. But it also, like, maybe for me, the way I'm processing repetition is because maybe some of the stories are familiar, some of these details I already know, some of these things I kind of concluded in our conversations before, and which you've told me.
mhm.
So it's like, oh, this feels like something I already know, you know? And
Yeah, but I think
yeah.
but I think like the one essay where she talks about her grandmother and how they had to hide in the trunk when they went to visit the one particular family member who was white passing,
Mm-hmm.
and how they had to do it that way for safety because on that
Yeah.
side of town it was a sundown town, right? And she mentions how she knew that the event impacted her grandmother in a big way because her grandmother told her that story multiple times.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's intentional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she talks about her brother a lot because that was a big
It's a literally a life. It's like it's literally life changing. All of the deaths in
right,
her, and I'm not talking about those details.
right.
Not that. I'm not talking about the deaths or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
More so, maybe like I think it was repeated about her poverty, and I'm trying to think like her poverty, her how she grew up, those type of things were repeated a lot. It was like little details. It's not anything major, is what I'm thinking about. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
but
I've
I
read
think
this.
those things are major though, right? Like
Yeah.
I think for someone like her who you would think, like you
Mm-hmm.
look at Jesmyn Ward and you don't see somebody that grew up in poverty.
Yeah. Yeah, not at
You
all.
think about like her background and the type of art that she
Mm-hmm.
puts out there, and you're not necessarily thinking about someone that grew up poor, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like
I mean,
being
the like you're
being
saying,
poor,
the little details matter regardless to the story to the narrative that she's painting for us
yeah, but
at
I
this
also
point.
think in the way that she talks about it is also the way it's funny because we were just talking about this at my uncle's house, how when you're a kid that grows up in the hood, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like you grew up in a two-parent home, like you had your
Mm-hmm.
you right, okay, cool. When you grow up poor, you don't realize that you're poor. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I really understood what my grandmother living in the projects meant until I got grown.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that like eating like oodles and noodles was like a struggle meal.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, or like
Yeah.
for a snack, my grandmother would put butter on saltine crackers, right? Like you don't realize as a kid that you're poor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like as a kid, it is this small detail because you don't realize it. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the big part. All your family living in a 1-bedroom apartment, right? Me going to Fifth Ave projects when I was a kid to be with my
Yeah.
cousins, and my cousin that had MS and was living on, like housing assistance and all of that, figuring out how to feed me and her 3 other kids that whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know what that lack was, right? And if I was to sit and to write about that, the poor is like is this big because the bigger part was that I got to be with my cousins, right? And that we had fun and that me and my cousin would walk from, Fifth Ave to, the McDonald's and go see some boys we ain't had no business seeing, whatever, be on 10th Ave, doing all kind of stuff that we ain't had no business doing during the summertime because it was the summertime, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's repetitive because it was impactful, right? Because when you get older and you realize what that lack actually did to you,
Mm-hmm.
what
Yeah.
it actually meant, it's it hits a little different,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? So it's like I think it's intentional because I think even when you think about Sing Berry Sing or any of her characters, right, in the poverty that they lived in, it's
Mm-hmm.
there, but it's not their entire story
Mm-hmm.
for reasons, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like it's I think it's intentional. I think she does
Yeah.
that because it's impactful.
Yeah.
Even if that impact, plus you got to think about, how we say with Akwaeke and Mezi, like we can tell when they wrote, well, I can tell when certain things of theirs were written together
Mm-hmm.
by their style. That also might be what you're picking up on.
Mm.
Because just because something was put in a magazine or in something in 2016 doesn't mean that they weren't being worked on at the same
Same
time
time.
in
Yeah.
2010.
That's true.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like that might be what you're
Mm-hmm.
picking up on as well, that she was writing these things
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
very,
That's
very
very
close
true. Yeah.
at the same time, right? But again, this is also a woman that's life was riddled
Yeah.
with grief.
Yeah, literally. Even down to her babies. And I think that's very, and she's dealing with grief again because she lost her grandmother in
Right.
2025. So I feel like we've told people and we've talked about this, is like grief is a fluid line through Jesmyn's work all the time. It's like it is the basis of what she speaks about, and as well as like telling the American story, like she was saying, is like this is what she does it for, is because she's telling the stories that need to be told. This ice cream truck is throwing y'all.
Girl, after ice cream truck, why Felicia just texted us talking about some, did we see the side quest for Hersey? I almost told her to go to hell.
A
Girl.
side quest. Hold on. Pause. Okay, we'll have to look at this later because no. Anyways,
but yeah, it really is
yeah.
But I think she writes about it well. I think as
She
somebody
does.
I think as somebody that also has a life that has been riddled with grief. I think
Mm-hmm.
I see Jesmyn Ward in that. And I feel seen.
Mm-hmm.
Because it literally is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's all over my life.
Yeah.
No matter how much I try to keep it to myself or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, it's all over my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. I think that was like reading about her husband as well was just wow. Just like
And I don't think I let me put it this way. I think you're a very smart person. You know that. I think you're very,
mm-hmm.
very intelligent. I don't think that a lot of Jesmyn Ward's work will hit home for you until
Yeah,
you
no.
have to grieve certain things.
That's what I was
Years from
thinking. I
now,
was yeah.
you're gonna call my phone and be like, I get it. I get it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. No, no, no. And this is what we were talking about when it comes to niche things. Like I like the work, I revere the work because I revere her as an amazing writer and how she moves and how she talks about grief and how it helps me understand like friends in my life and what they go through because it's not something I've been through as of yet deeply, right? And but it's not something that I've dealt with. And so it's kind of like when we were talking about last week with postpartum depression with the Bloodfire baby, it's like I can't necessarily relate to it fully, but I can appreciate the work. I can be a champion for the work. I can be a champion for what this work is saying, right? But I can't
Right.
speak to it in a deep experience like you probably could,
Right.
you know? So I can acknowledge that like it's probably not going to I'm going to probably return to this book and all her work and be like, yeah, man. Like now I really feel it. And I think that's the beauty of literature. I think that's also why some people probably don't have the biggest connect with her work or mark it off as like maybe it's too hard because they're trying to relate deeply with the work without giving it just giving room for it regardless, even if you don't
Right.
relate to it. So I loved it because I moved through the essays pretty fluidly, of course. I thought I was gonna have a harder time reading it physically. But I was zooming through it. I felt like it was
Yeah, no, I thought
I
it was
enjoyed it.
gonna be more new
Intense.
stuff.
Yeah, or yeah.
So I listened to it fairly quickly. I
Mm-hmm.
intended to immersive read it, but didn't because it was all stuff that I
Already know. Yeah.
yeah. So I was
Yeah.
it was really good though. I love listening to her.
Yeah.
I love listening to her speak. I kind of wish so what they did for that first one is they just put the recording from the actual event and I'm kind of mad that they did that.
They put the recording from the event?
Yeah, I wish they would have just had her reread it. And I wonder if she didn't want to because her grandmother recently passed.
Maybe. That's true.
Right? Like I wonder if it was
Yeah.
that sort of thing or if they just like the recording so much, but it doesn't sound professional. That's what it is.
Mm.
It's not like I guess the word that I want to use is remastered,
It's like
maybe.
copy and paste it. It's just like boom, here you go. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah. So it
Mm-hmm.
feels out of place.
Yeah.
Um but other than that, I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I really did. I really loved this book. I think it puts me up there with well not really up there, but her and Tanahasi. Same thing when I moved through his essays too, pretty quickly. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like one, two, three. I wasn't expecting that with him as well because I was like, oh, this is probably gonna take me a minute, but I think it took us I think we read that in one day, right? I feel like we did. Yeah. But it's similar type of feel. Um Well, guys, that's the end of our podcast.
We'll see y'all next week. Email us if you got any questions, podcast recommendations, or book recommendations, excuse me, legal readers thought-provoking.pod@gmail.com. Or you can catch us on, what's that place called? Instagram?
Yeah,
or the
Instagram
threads
or
at the Bigger
threads.
Readers.
Mm-hmm.
Which we don't be posting on. So maybe y'all should talk to us on there, and maybe we'll actually post. Because
yeah, I try to remember to post over there, and it won't let me automatically post. It's so annoying.
oh, it's because of the collaboration.
Yeah,
You have to. You
have
either
to.
gonna have to not do the collabs or just post them.
Yeah,
Just post it individually.
that's what I've been doing, which is it's not tedious. I just copy and paste it. It's just I remember. That's it. But
all right, y'all. See y'all.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Next week.